Hey, what up, comrades? Thank you for watching the channel. My name is Van, and in this episode, I'm just gonna leave off from my last video, a war in Sing Sing toward the end of the 90s that included the Damus and the Kings. It was a nasty war. It was basically just a war that was being carried up from Rikers Island. Everything that you do in Rikers Island, yes, it does follow you. So Rikers Island, you know the stories. We're gonna get to that, but right now we're here. Crazy things going on. Slashings left and right. It was like at an all-time high. I don't think that there's ever been a time in Rikers Island where slashings has been up so high. And so people were being put in Sing Sing because Sing Sing is real close to Rikers Island. So when you're on your way to upstate, you stop there while they get your paperwork together, classify what jail you're going to, because at that time the jails were packed, and find out where you fit in. Most likely you're gonna get shipped to the top, because how it goes is when you first start your bid, you go up. Eventually you start working your way down until you get released. So being in Sing Sing was really a privilege in many ways. In one, it was so close to New York that people had access to their family. Two, you actually seen correction officers that were like me and you. You don't see that up there. That's rare. So when you see a correction officer that looks like you, or you might see a girl, or you know what I mean, as a correction officer, you're like, you know? Females, you don't see no females correction officers that's worth looking at up until you get to at least Sing Sing. But we're gonna keep moving on. So there's a war going on, and people's making pit stops, and there was already people that were situated, bros, kings. It was already established. And it was on. People was meeting their makers. Whatever they did was catching up, and it was crazy. The war was insane. B Block was off the rocker and had the whole jail like, what's going on? I said in my last video that the Damus had went to BlueBoy. Actually, the Damus were in A Block, and they wanted to get at B Block, but didn't want to make it look like they were stepping on any toes with Blue. Blue commanded that respect, so they went to Blue. It's like, yo, you know, they're going crazy. People's getting stabbed up, whatever. Blue comes out, and he comes out blatantly, and he says that if any other Latin Kings start banging on Damus on B Block, that he was gonna start banging on Kings on A Block. Tension was high, tension was going. By that time, I said before, it was 3 waves. One wave happened, I don't know what happened there, but as I hear, a lot of bros and Damus went down, because that's what happens in war. There's no real winners in war. You slash, you cut somebody, yeah, you get a charge, you leave, you know, you go play your consequences somewhere else. That war follows you. But it got so off the hook that it got to that point. The Muslims was like, yo, what the hell's going on? Everybody A Block, Damus over there. Everybody that was rolling with Blue, you know, like Kings were public enemy pretty much everywhere. And at that point in time, were the disruptors of the jail. Now, nobody really likes the disruptors of the jail. You know, you go there, especially the old timers, you know, you go to do your time in a cell, and you don't want anything but yourself. You don't want to encounter no problems, no noise, no nothing. So when somebody's disrupting your programming, where you're trying to get your certificates, or this is how you make your money, whether you work at the tailor shop, whether you work in the mess hall, everything gets shut down. It's a disruption. So at that time, the Kings were the disruption in B Block. Just as things was going to escalate. Mind you, I could have not believed what I was witnessing so far. Everything I've done went through in maybe 2 years of my bid so far in, out of a decade. So things were getting crazy, and it was around December. It was December on Christmas Eve. This is the event that changed everything. December of Christmas Eve, late 90s. A situation happened that changed everything. I mean, there was a god body, apparently, allegedly, who had some type of crucifix, and apparently was getting like mail, Merry Christmas, and all the jolly stuff that goes around the holidays. So apparently this god body, he had a chain. I think it was like a gold crucifix, or just a chain with a crucifix. And you know, if you know the god body's history, you know, they don't believe in certain things. I'm not gonna get into it, but it goes against their belief. So the god bodies asked this gentleman, which is also a god body, to remove his crucifix. It was a disrespect. Now, to tell you, people get real serious about their belief behind a wall. Whatever you believe in, that's the only thing you really have. You go extreme for what you believe in. For example, we had the FOIs, the Fruit of Islams, in Sing Sing. Real discipline. The FOI has got to be, I'll say, one of the most disciplined organizations in New York State. Did everything together. You look at their clothes, sharp. Outstanding appearance. You look at their skin, it glows. They work out together, they jog together, they do drills. They are disciplined. They are probably the only organization in New York State that can act like that and not feel the pressure from the administration. For some reason, the administration does not look at them as a threat, regardless of how disciplined and how unified they are. In fact, in Sing Sing, in the chapel, the priest or the deacon actually used and paid the FOI to be, what do you call that, the chaperone, the people that seat you in the benches. They were security. You would go in Sing Sing chapel on Sunday services at 12, and upon entering the chapel, you will be greeted by an FOI. Now, if they're the Fruits of Islam, what are they doing in the Catholic Church? They were employed by the Department of Correction. They was getting their cut for being that security and keeping things nimble and organized. So discipline ran deep in belief behind the wall. So it is no shock that the gentleman was asked to remove his crucifix. Of course, being behind the wall, you're no punk, you're not gonna punk me, I'm not gonna punk you, blah, blah, blah. I'm not taking no crucifix off. He refused to take the crucifix off. So the consequences were dire. The 5% guy came and did what he did. And he bodied them. Stabbed them. I believe this was in A block. I was in B block at the time. So when he killed them, you know, everything gets hot, whatever. Nobody's moving. The next day is Christmas. The only thing moving was the visit. I get called to the visit. What's going on? Oh, I hear something happening over there in A block, blah, blah. Somebody got stabbed. When I went to the visit that morning, it was a different feel. Because what I experienced in the visit, what I heard was a sharp noise, a scream, a yell coming from behind where the correction officers were taking the punch card for the visitors coming in. There's like a little door where the prisoners come in through. And you can hear a yell, a sharp yell. I said, oh man. The first thing I thought about, because there was a story of a chump that had escaped from Sing Sing from the visit room because he went in the bathroom and came out dressed as a female and walked out as a female. So the first thing I thought about was that lore, that story that I had just heard recently. So I was like, I heard the yell, the scream, and visit was over. On the way back to the block, seen a bro and he had just said that somebody had got killed. Later on, I realized that the person who was yelling was the mother of the gentleman that got killed for the crucifix. Nobody told her or informed her that her son had passed away prior. I mean, come on, let's keep it real. Who wants to make that phone call on Christmas? That walk back to the block, it was different. Everything was locked down, everything was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. That was the first time I actually, from when I went there, the first time that I actually heard silence. The only time you hear silence in Sing Sing is probably during the Attica riot observance day in September 13th. You know what all convicts do. Go to the mess hall with state greens. Don't eat state food. Go in, pick up your utensils, go to the dumping pen, put your utensils down, and go back to your cell with silence. The only two times I've ever heard quiet, a pin drop in Sing Sing. So it was crazy. That was a disturbance now. That changed everybody's perspective of everything, because at that time, the jail, fearing that there was going to be an all-out war because it was already popping off. It was already hot. They called in Lisa Everett from Street Soldiers. You know Lisa Everett, the ex-Guardian Angel, news anchor now. Used to be Street Soldiers then. I think she still is now. They called her into the jail to have a meeting with the population. Everybody goes down to the movie theater. You know the movie theater. That movie theater was like the pride of Sing Sing, where they actually showed real movies there. The setup was real. The feeling was real. You're watching the big screen, sitting down, and if nobody's in front of you, you will prop your leg up on the seat in front of you, and you can smoke your half a man, which, by the way, was what they called the weed in Sing Sing. That was the code for the blunt. The Philly, half in one blunt. That's what it was called, a half a man. You go and Sing Sing, you lay up, you kick up, and you smoke your half a man. Yes, the smoke was in the air. You were smoking like you was in the street. So Lisa Everett gets up and she starts giving inspirational rhetoric. Now let me retrace that. We wasn't smoking weed when Lisa Everett was doing her rhetoric, out of respect, of course. This only goes on in the night, movie theater night, where you could go in there with your 2-liter, your bag of chips, you and your peoples come through with all the snacks. It was all love. It was all love. The disruption of the time were the Kings and the Blood bringing up the beef to the state. And not only the Kings, there was other groups too. So Lisa Everett made that statement. And from there on, the assaults stopped. Lisa Everett stopped a gang war in Sing Sing. It wasn't BlueBoy. It wasn't the Kings. It wasn't the Damus and A Block. It wasn't the Muslims. It was Lisa Everett. From that day on, I don't know what happened. Everybody felt that kid's murder. Everybody always feels some type of way when an inmate dies, because the first thing you're going to think about when you go back into your cell, like, wow, it can really happen. Everything went back to schedule. Everything went back to programming. The disruptions stopped. Well, at least the organized group destruction stopped. There's always little knickknacks here and there. There's always jail politics. There's always somebody getting hit for something they did. There's a thin line between respect and disrespect. Very thin. Things happen quick. You wouldn't anticipate how quick things can go bad for you. Not just gangs. Messing with the wrong person, saying the wrong thing, making false accusations, gambling, thieving, extortion. Oh, it happens. Booty bandits, or the bloom bandits. A lot of y'all don't know about the bloom bandage. I've seen that too. The bloom bandage is where you go get that score on the visit and you come back with a loony in your butt. Then somebody's waiting for you, escorting you to the prison yard so that they can expunge the loony from your butthole with their own fucking fingers. That's the type of shit that happened in there. Going back into race. There's been a lot of assumptions also that the Latin Kings were against blacks and that they didn't allow blacks into the Latin Kings. Just in Sing Sing alone, it was 2 black bros. A King Size and a King Gato. Later on, he named himself King Kong. King Size, my dude. That was just in Sing Sing. There's others. King Lai, King Vi. Yeah. Latin Kings have blacks. Yeah. They have whites also. Yeah. So, all of this propaganda, people feeding, yo, they're against this, they're against that, they're the suppressors. Bruh, you got any Latin King friends, bro? In fact, you ever had a situation upstate, not in Rikers Island, upstate, where somebody gets sneak thief? Oh shit, somebody gets up. Oh wow, somebody got hit. One of those, one little secret rats in the middle of the night type shit or whatever when you're in program. Now the first suspect, this always happens, this shit doesn't fail. A Spanish dude gets robbed, let's say, he gets snuffed up, sneak thief. He comes back, he find out he's sneak thief. His first suspect is gonna be the black dudes. Yo, where the Morenos was at? Yo, who was here? Blah, blah, blah. Same thing with the Morenos. You get snuffed up, yo, the Spanish cats around here, yo, what's up? Yo, Poppy was around here, like, and you wanna know something? 10 out of 10 times, it was somebody of your own race that went in there, went in that cell, went in that queue, and sneak thief your shit. Meanwhile, you're looking at the next race. Easy suspect. Think about that. Anyway, you already know. This is Van. Thank you for checking the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Get the word out. I'm going to try to do something where